Good morning, girls. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. I wanted to make you a little video to go over what we learned on Wednesday. I'm going to start by showing you guys how to cast on your stitches, and then we'll go over the knit stitch again. Okay, so I've already got my slip knot ready to go. I'm going to take my left needle and I'm going to stick it in through the front just like that. Then I'm going to take my right needle and I'm going to stick that in right behind my left needle. Then I'm going to use my left hand to hold those together like this. Okay. Now, one thing that is really helpful is naturally we want to grab down here at the bottom of our sticks, but we actually want to keep our hands up towards the upper, like the top quarter of our sticks. And we want to be doing most of our work up here. Okay, so here we are. We've got our two needles like this. We've got our two tails. We have our short tail that we're not going to use. And then we have our long tail right here that's connected to our ball of yarn. So we're going to start by going around the back of our right needle. Okay, I'm going to show you again. We're going to go around the back of our right needle. Okay, now I like to hold this with my right hand. Now I've got my left hand holding my left needle and I've got my right hand holding my right needle, okay? Now we're going to slip our right needle down and we're gonna go through that window right there, okay? So I'm gonna slip it down and we're gonna go through the window. I'm gonna show you it from the bottom too, through the window. Now we're gonna gently pull those apart like this. I'm gonna use my right index finger to hold my yarn right here. Then I'm going to take my left needle and I'm going to dip it down and I'm going to go right into that space that we've created. Then I'm going to slip my right needle out and I'm going to give this long tail a little tug to tighten things up. I'm also going to give my short one a little tug too. Okay, so we're going to do that again. We're going to slide it in through the front door. I'm going to use my right hand and I'm going to go around the back of my right needle. Okay, then I'm going to pull it apart a little bit and we're going to go through that window. So I'm going to dip my right needle down in through the window. Then I'm going to gently pull with my right needle to create that nice big space. And I'm going to use my right index finger to hold my yarn on my right needle. I'm going to dip the left needle down and in through that space. Then I'm going to slip my right needle out and I'm going to give my long tail a little tug to tighten things up. Okay, in through the front door. Oops. Around the back. Give it a little tug to create some space in through that window. I'm going to pull on my right needle to create a nice space right there. I'm going to dip my left needle down into that space and pull my right needle out. Then I'm going to give my long tail a little tug. Okay, so right now we've got our first knot. It's from our slip knot. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches. And we need 8. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to go a little bit faster to get those 8 stitches, and then we'll move on to the knit stitch. So my hope is that this video will help you guys if you need to start over or if you've forgotten how to do the knit stitch so that you guys can continue practicing at home. And then we will, of course, work on it when you guys come back to class on Wednesday. Move my stitches down a little bit. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need one more. Okay. So now, after I have my 8 stitches that we've casted on, I'm going to start at this top stitch here. So we're going to go in through the front door again. Okay. Now we're going to work on our knit stitch. Now we're going to go around the back, just like we did when we were casting on, around the back. Give that a little tug so that we can go in through that window, in through the window. Okay. Now instead of pulling this apart, I'm going to stick my right index finger on the tip of my left needle, and we're going to push that top stitch off, and that is where Jack jumps off. Okay, now we can give our long thread a little tug. Okay, so we're going to do that again. We're going to go in through the front door. We're going to go around the back, give it a little tug to loosen things up so that we can get into that little window right there. Okay, so we're going to go in through the window. I'm going to place my index finger right here, and we can see that the stitch is ready to jump right off. Okay, now one of the problems that I was seeing on Wednesday is we weren't totally sure if we had taken Jack off or not. So if you're wondering if that stitch has slipped off, notice that when the stitch comes off, I have a nice big gap between my two needles. When Jack is still waiting on this needle, our needles are going to be stuck together closer like this. Okay, so that's a good way to tell if Jack has come off or not. So we're going to do that again. We're going to go in through the front door, around the back, give a little tug to go through that window right there. Going to place my right index finger on my left needle and pull Jack off like that. Okay, and then if we want to tighten things up, you can just pull on that long thread in through the front door, around the back, in through the window, and off jumps Jack. In through the front door, around the back, in through the window, and off jumps Jack. And we're going to finish that up. Go through all of our stitches. Okay, and then when we're done, our left needle is going to slide out just like that. Now we can kind of pull our stitches down, and we always want to make sure that we count our stitches. So let's see how many we've got. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so remember, a couple of ways that we can end up with extra stitches is if we're not pulling Jack off, okay, or if we're accidentally splitting each one of these. We don't want to go in between those. Okay, so now after we've done our first row of stitches, we're going to take our needle and it's going to go into our left hand. So our left hand is always going to be holding our yarn and our right needle is always going to be working. Okay, so now we're going to go in through the front door again, and we're going to start all over again. Around the back, through that window, and off jumps Jack. Okay, and I'm going to give a little tug on my long thread. In through the front door, around the back, through the window, and off jumps Jack. Through the front door, around the back, through the window. So you see when I keep these stitches over here up close to the top of my needle, it makes it easier to slip Jack off. In through the front door, around the back, through that window, and off jumps Jack. Okay, I'm going to finish this up so that you can see what it's going to start to look like. We're going to start to create rows of stitches. Okay, let's push these down. And you can see that we're creating these little nubs right here. And it's going to be a bunch of rows of those. Okay, here's another look at it from the back. And we're going to continue doing that into one big long chain. All right, I am so proud of you girls. I hope that you are practicing, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye.